Hello and welcome to the latest installment of the Guns Gear review series. This is my fully customized PTS Magpul beta project, Tactical AK. It doesn't necessarily have a name. The only way you can really identify this gun is by beta project and then AK. Then people know what you're talking about. Because beta project makes other things. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but for short, I just call this gun beta project. So that's what you're going to hear me call it. Internally, this gun is completely different than what you're going to get. Actually, almost everything in it has been changed. So performance is only going to be for my custom gun, and I'll be able to tell you a little bit about what it's going to be like if you were to buy this new. So all the beta projects have been either discontinued or they're just permanently out of stock on all websites. They had it on eBay for $398, so it's kind of an expensive gun. I only got it for $180 off Craigslist, so I just got really lucky, pretty much. Some specs from Evike, if this gun were brand new and had all the original internals, should come with a Beta Project magazine. I ended up getting this CYMA Beta Project magazine from Evike, decently cheap, and then it holds a lot of BBs and feeds pretty well. So the length of this gun is 814 millimeters and 896, with the stock, I assume, fully extended. The original inner barrel was 400 millimeters. The original weight was 3,510 grams. Original magazine capacity was 140 rounds. This gun is pretty compatible with AK mags. Originally it came with this magazine, and these like banana style magazines from Eka 1 will fit in this gun. So any TM compatible mag should fit just fine. The gun is pretty much an incredibly souped up CYMA AK. Original muzzle velocity was 390 to 410, measured with .20s. Mine is actually shooting incredibly low at like 275, but that was because I requested the tech who sold it to me to put in a lower power spring to fit my field limits. But I didn't know it would be that goddamn low. But it actually still shoots pretty far, and people still call their hits, so I can't complain. Has a version 3 full metal and fully upgradable gearbox. Has a short type motor. So what makes this gun special? All the internals have been replaced, and I'm going to talk about all the internals. I obviously put some Magpul stuff on there. I put the angle foregrip, and I bought 2 different colors so I can crisscross them for the rail covers, which people love to do when they get their beta projects. It has a real CTR stock with a friction lock, which we will get a closer look at in just a moment. I also added a SCAR type quick detach flash hider on the front, very aggressive looking. Originally this gun will come with this AK-74 style flash hider. It's very heavy, kind of got some ridges to it, so very good quality. And it has an adapter on the inside for the 14mm, but it's pretty loose, so hard to keep it tight. It's an adapter for whatever the thread size is with, so it comes with the adapter. What makes this gun special? Chris Costa's custom AK, I guess. I haven't really read up on it much. I probably should have before the video, but apparently this is Chris Costa's AK, and they brought it into the Airsoft world through Magpul PTS, and it is a souped up CYMA gun. So the gearbox was CYMA, and that is, they make some cheap AKs, but their gearboxes are actually pretty reliable, so can't complain. My gearbox, however, is no longer CYMA, just the shell pretty much, and the wires. So what else makes this gun special? Well, it already has a buffer tube for M4 stocks, which is great. Comes with the CTR, which is real. They should come with saw grips, but they also include the 74 style pistol grip, which I prefer anyway. One of the coolest features is that it has an ambidextrous charging handle, which I've never seen before, and it is what made me love this gun so much. And one of the best features about it, the whole front of the gun is an extended rail kit, so longer than traditional AKs. You get 4 rails. The next best feature about this gun is the color. I love how it's tan. You don't ever really see a tan AK, so it looks amazing pretty much. Another Magpul thing that you might recognize are the charging handles. They are ACR style charging handles from the Masada. So I want to make it clear that a lot of things about this gun are very different than a stock one. So this is more a review of my personal guns. So, the weight. This is decent Aeg weight. Nothing really weighs it down. There's no balance issues or anything, you know, it's just the rail kit isn't heavy, everything's pretty much balanced. I don't really know how much it weighs, but I'd venture to guess around 7 pounds. Length. This is longer than, I'm gonna say it's safe to say it's longer than a regular AK. That is if you have the 74 flash hider on there. And with stock extended, it becomes pretty long. So, trademarks. Being PTS, they have the licensing to put anything Magpul related on their airsoft guns, but this gun doesn't have anything very specific for what it is. The only real trades I can show you would be, I usually show these when it comes to trades because they are marking. So, sight is marked. On the handguard, or on the bottom rail, it says made in Hong Kong. Pretty lame, but I don't know. Looks clean. Oh, like any Airsoft AK, they got the Russian thing for the full auto and the semi right there. And then since this is a real Magpul stock, it has the markings there to let you know what it is. And it has the Magpul logo on the back of the stock, on the butt plate. Okay, so like any Suime AK, the hop-up is located right here. So I'm going to mention now that there was a little tiny piece of plastic that helped you get a grip on it, but that just came off because the charging handle itself sometimes would hit it. This is your hop-up. You push back for more hop, and that is fully hopped, and that is fully off hop. The hop-up works okay in this gun. Alright, so briefly, features. It features a 14mm, I think it's counterclockwise threading, so the basic threading for all the AGs. So, suppressors can go on here, and this gun looks pretty sweet with a suppressor on it. Obviously, it features the adjustable front AK-74 style sight, and then rear AK sight. Also features the very cool Ambidextrous charging handle. Has traditional AK style selector switch. Nothing very special about this. Features a battery option in the top, mostly, and this hole can go all the way through the top of this thing to fit your really long stick types. Mine has been converted to Dean's by the guy who sold it to me, and has a regular car style. There's a regular car style fuse, which adds a little space for it, so yeah. The battery I use in this gun is well, it's not extreme, but it is a pretty tight fit. I use this battery for it. It is a tight fit, and especially since I short-circuited the last one I bought, so I didn't bother converting this one. I just bought an adapter instead to make life easier. It's a pretty tight compartment, but this powers the gun very well. And then the last feature would be the CTR Magpul stock. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. It features a friction lock, which doesn't do anything because it'll still wobble around. Also features a quick detach mount here for a sling. These two holes, you can add a cheek riser, which I actually plan to get in tan to complete the black tan two-tone contrast. It also has a rubberized butt plate, which can be removed, and underneath it, it will feature pretty much just diamond checkering, like regular butt stocks usually do, but this is rubberized, and it is decently comfortable. Stock also has 2 sling points right here, and this little hole here I just use for my zip ties for FPS markings. Alright, so that was all the features of the gun. Now I'm going to go full review from front to back. So the flash hider, even though it is aftermarket, is steel. So here you have a look at your 14mm threads. As you can see, the inner barrel is black because it is a Magpul Python type bore. I think it's a 6.03 diameter. From my experience, these are actually pretty good inner barrels, so I recommend them. As you can see here, this little hole was the lock for the original flash hider, and then, like I said, the front sight is adjustable. This part of the gun is aluminum, so this tan part so far. This part here is aluminum, and so is the front sight. This little pin here seems to be damaged and coming out. I think the original, it seems to have like a hook thing here, and if you've seen those AKs with cleaning rods attached to the barrels, I think that's kind of what that was meant for. So the rail kit does move a tad bit, and the original owner, he said he was going to tighten it for me, and I think he did because I saw some like gas tape And with the removal of this pin, the whole this section here should come off, and then a few screws are up front, and the whole front of the gun should come off. But I can't get the front to come off because of the job he did to it. Doesn't mean anything though, because I could still change the inner barrels, but it's just kind of difficult to do because I have to take everything out of here and then pull the inner barrel all the way out, disassemble the inner barrel, disassemble the hop up, and take the inner barrel out from the front. So yeah, it's kind of a draw, it's kind of a bad thing, but how often do you really need to change inner barrels? The rails are aluminum. The original hop up bucking was a V-shape, but it had some feeding issues, so I also replaced that part. So your outer barrel on the inside is serrated, and it just looks really cool. And the whole front rail is indented along the top, and then the sides are just regular spec. They're all, regular spec, so they fit all these things, and of course because all the Magpul stuff fits on there. This is a pretty long rail kit, so I have 4 sections of XTM rail panels, and I think I would need at least 2 more to complete the rail, and then if I wanted 3 more to complete the bottom, and of course I wouldn't put anything on the top. For this gun I especially bought this red dot, which is a Avengers styled from a T1 red dot. And people who buy these guns, these Magpul beta projects, they often get this same style of sight but without the riser, so it's a lot closer. So in all my gameplays I am using this red dot, and it works just fine. And the rail kit has holes in it for cooling down the real AK barrel. This little switch here is for disassembling the barrel, so in an old review of an AK I said that it didn't move, but it's not supposed to unless you're disassembling the whole thing. The lever is aluminum, and so is this part, also aluminum. Oh, note that this part of the gun seems to have a different style to it, kind of a... To best describe it would be how polymer has that, kind of texture to it, but this is still a type of aluminum. So does the front part. This whole area here has the same style to it. The iron sights are actually pretty nice. The rear iron sight is adjustable, like I mentioned. You push in this button and then the whole thing moves around. Personally, I keep it around in between 2 and 4. So the whole rear sight is composed of aluminum and is spring loaded, of course, like any AK. The rear sight's button is serrated to get a grip on it, and so is the other side, even though it does not act as a button. I'll also note that this part of the gun seems to have a different... Now, around the body area. First of all, the body appears to be made of steel. I actually didn't know this until literally this second. It's actually pretty cool. The dust cover is also made of steel. The bolt is made of aluminum. Alright, so we're at the body. All these pins here, they're actually for show. None of them actually hold the gearbox in there, and disassembling on this gun is very easy. I'm not going to do it on video, but I will explain to you how it's done. So all these pins are pretty much for show. All of them seem to have a bit of wear to them. This one is steel. These black ones appear not to be. That one is steel. These 2 are steel. This one's aluminum, and so are these front 2. This selector switch is pretty much always kind of loose. This is jerry-rigged to stay in place, since I doubt it had the original screw. I had my dad, because he's pretty good at machining. He did a straight slot and added a piece in the middle there so that this does not unscrew itself. Even after tightening, however, it is still kind of loose. And it's probably the case with the brand new Model 2. Selector switches, it's a hard thing to keep them tight on airsoft guns. The selector switch is made of steel. And this is kind of a unique selector switch because of just the styling to it. It is serrated here to get a grip, and also on the bottom. The dust cover is pretty much blank. As you can see, there is some wear on this gun. It seems to have a coat of tan, then a coat of black, and then bare metal underneath it. So if this gun does scratch, it will have black. The dust cover comes off very easy. In fact, it came off when I was playing Airsoft one time. All that needs to happen is you need to press this button here and it will just come right off. This button is made out of aluminum. So just pressing this button and then the whole dust cover comes right off. Now, to take the gun apart further, to get it ready to take the gearbox out, push this forward and this will come out along with the spring. So you need to be careful about that coming off also. You don't want to lose that when you take the gun apart. Then the whole bolt will come back. Oh yeah, you gotta have the selector down. Take the bolt back and it comes out from the very back. So then you have your bolt. And then from here, you want to take off your selector switch and take off the screw of the pistol grip that is attached to the motor. And then I found once it's all off, it still will not come out unless you take like a screwdriver and you pry this piece of the body outwards, because part of the selector switch will not come out. Then the entire gearbox will come out. Then you have your barrel. This piece of plastic is to keep the inner barrel in this position here. To keep the hop-up unit this far back. This piece of plastic just comes right out. It keeps the hop-up and inner barrel in place. Spring is made out of steel, and I assume so is the little rod that goes into this. Here's where the mag goes in. It has a quality control pass sticker like all CYMA AKs should have. I believe it is missing a part here because the mag kind of wants to over-insert itself. So the lip has to go about there. More often than not, if you pick up this gun, you're going to shove the mag all the way in and probably break the magazine. But the lip has a certain hook-in point, which is very specific. So this is your lever. Has a decently strong spring in there, and it's made of steel. The pin is made of steel, and these parts here appear to be made of aluminum. The trigger guard is made of steel, and the trigger itself is made of aluminum. While on safe, the trigger does this pretty much. While on fully automatic, it kind of moves, and then there's a bit of grime right here. And then on semi, it's a pretty smooth trigger pull. Personally, I just use semi on this gun only because the rate of fire with the 3000 torque with the Matrix 3000 motor is just too high to get a good feed. So here's the pistol grip, 74U style. The motor is held in place with just one screw and is the Matrix 3000 motor, like I mentioned. It kind of creaks a lot side to side, so it's not the best fit on the gun. And I was going to get a Magpul Palm version, but the shipping everywhere I found them was just way too much. It is made of ABS, and it has diamond checkering along the pistol grip. It is a comfortable grip. I would definitely prefer this over the saw grip that they come with. This is the buffer tube. I find the buffer tube to be attached to the body incredibly well. It is very solid, and the buffer tube appears to be made of aluminum. This piece is made of steel, and this piece is also made of aluminum that's attaching it to the gun. I thought you can run a buffer tube battery in here by putting the wiring through the back, but you cannot. So this lever here is to move the stock. It is serrated, and so is the friction lock, which I mentioned doesn't do anything. This part of the stock, the rubber part, with the removal of these two screws, and I guess you squeeze in these 2 points on each side of the stock, should remove the rubber part so you can use the traditional style, which you can kind of see underneath. So this magazine is CYMA, and so you can buy these on eBike for decently cheap. But it is like a waffle style with see-through, so you can see the inner workings of the magazine. It is polymer with the usual polymer texturing on there, and I really like these magazines. They're kind of a straight style, so they should fit in M4 pouches, and kind of a Magpul style base plate, also made of polymer. But since it's a winding wheel, I don't think you can put a new base plate so I really like these mags, and I recommend them for all AKs. Okay, so I posted a lot of the information about this gun on Airsoft builds, so you can go on there and type in my YouTube name and you should find my Airsoft guns and whatever's inside of them. So I hope I mentioned everything I could about my custom beta project AK. This is one of my favorite Airsoft guns. I like it a lot, and I've always really wanted this gun. I'm sure you can hear those kids screaming over there and then those bugs buzzing in that tree over there, so I would film indoors, but the lighting is just really bad in there. I would need to get studio lights in order for that to happen. So I really like this gun. It's one of my favorite Airsoft guns, and I've fielded it at least twice, and I plan to field it again. The only problems it has was feeding issues with the old hop-up, which I replaced, and the motor was missing a set screw, which me and my dad had to make one and fit it into this. It damaged the bevel gear, which I did replace. Overall, this is a fantastic gun, a lot of rail space, a lot of customizing to be done to it. It's CYMA, so TM upgrades and TM mags all work with this gun. And it's just a gun that was already pre-customized, and is just, you can't help yourself but want to customize it more. So this is my review of my Tactical AK, and there will be a shooting test. I hope you enjoyed. Okay, so there's a few things I want to say about this gun before I shoot it. The traditional, if you've seen my reviews before, the beer and a couple soda cans, the hop-up on this gun is super sensitive. Just the slightest movement and the BBs are drastically changing how far they're going. The hop-up works and all, but it's just super duper sensitive in its calibration. I will be using Aeg Weight Perfect .20s. I prefer to use .5s, but all I have is 30s right now. The 11.1 is in the underneath dust cover, and I prefer the stock collapsed. Extended, the gun is just way too long. I mostly go semi with this gun, but I will do a burst of full auto just to give you guys a demo. And I'm using iron sights because my red dot is dead. That ping is coming from that really small green sign up there. But back to the beer. There are at least 3 cans, and we'll try to hit. Alright, so here's full auto. For some reason you need to go all the way up to safe and then back down to semi. It's been like that since he sold it to me. I don't know what to do. And it shook itself back down to semi. You can fix the select switch by tightening this every once in a while, but since I use semi so often, I don't bother doing it. So that was the review of my custom beta project AK. I love this gun. It just looks so cool. It feels even better because it's got Magpul stuff all over it, which is always very comfortable. If you can get your hands on one of these guns, I recommend you do it. You do not want to pass up this great gun, especially if you can find it for a bargain, which is what you're gonna have to do, because the only way you can get these now is through eBay and Craigslist, and eHobby just says they have them, but they're all out of stock. So I hope you enjoyed the beta project. A lot of videos on this and gameplay, so click the link.